You walk into a crowded room. Someone extends a hand. Without thinking, you reach out, palms meet, and you pump once, twice, maybe three times. It feels normal, polite, automatic. But here is the strange part. Right now, deep inside your brain, ancient circuits are lighting up. Circuits that once decided who lived and who died. This isn't just a greeting. It's a ritual your brain has been running for millions of years. The real reason you shake hands is far stranger than a learned social custom. It begins with weapons. Thousands of years ago, when two strangers met, every encounter was a potential ambush. The right hand, the weapon hand, held the spear, the dagger, the club. Extending it, palm open and empty, was a silent declaration. I hold no blade. I come in peace. You see this in ancient Greek art. Handshakes carved onto funeral urns, sealed in marriage ceremonies, painted on temple walls. The empty hand became a symbol of trust because it proved, physically, that you were not about to strike. Medieval knights understood this perfectly. They would clasp right hands and sometimes shake to rattle any hidden daggers from a sleeve. The message was the same: disarm yourself, and I will disarm myself. For a moment, we choose peace. But the story goes much deeper than medieval Europe. Long before knights and city-states, your primate ancestors were using their hands to send the same survival signal. Primatologist Franz de Waal spent decades watching chimpanzees. After a fight, they do something remarkable. The loser will approach the winner, body low, arm outstretched, palm facing upward. It's a gesture of submission and reconciliation. The open palm says, I hold no branch, no rock, no weapon, I'm not a threat. The dominant chimp may then touch or hold that hand, and the tension dissolves. That is not so different from you reaching out after an awkward argument. Your brainstem, the part you share with those chimpanzees, still reads an open palm the same way. It's not just hello, it's a plea for safety. Now, fast forward to today. You meet a business partner, a new neighbor, a friend of a friend. The handshake happens in a split second, but your brain performs an extraordinary forensic scan. In 2016, psychologist Michael Slepian and his team studied exactly what your brain measures during a handshake. They found you instantly judge firmness, temperature, moisture, and even the rhythm of the shake. A firm, dry handshake triggers one judgment: trustworthy, confident, ally. A cold, weak, or damp handshake triggers the opposite: untrustworthy, anxious, competitor. This is not your conscious mind being picky. This is your ancient tribal brain sorting friend from foe in a fraction of a second. The same circuits that once looked for a hidden flint knife are now checking your palm for any sign of weakness or danger. And what happens next inside your skull is even more startling. When skin touches skin, special nerve fibers called C-tactile afferents send a flood of signals to your insula and prefrontal cortex. These are the brain regions that process trust, emotion, and social bonding. In 2008, neuroeconomist Paul Zak ran experiments showing that a simple handshake can trigger a measurable release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone that makes you feel closer to someone. Your brain, in that single hand clasp, is chemically deciding whether to embrace this person as a member of your tribe. From a survival standpoint, this makes perfect sense. For your ancestors, physical contact meant cooperation, sharing food, defending a campsite, raising children. A good handshake wasn't polite. It was the beginning of a survival alliance. So why do you still feel a jolt of dislike when someone gives you that limp, dead fish squeeze? Because your brain has not updated its threat software in 30,000 years. When a stranger's hand feels wrong, your amygdala, the ancient alarm system, whispers the same warning it once shouted on the savannah. This person may be hiding something. They are not fully committed to peace. They could be a rival. Your body responds with a tiny spike in cortisol, a subtle tensing of muscles. You tell yourself it's just a bad handshake, but your biology still treats it as a possible ambush. That feeling of instant repulsion? It's no small thing. It's your evolutionary legacy screaming at you to stay alert. This ancient ritual hasn't just survived. It still shapes your entire social world. Job interviews are won or lost in that first grip. Political leaders cross borders and shake hands on live television, signaling not just peace between nations, but a promise of no concealed weapons between two people. Even in a digital age, where deals are made via screens, the handshake remains the final seal of genuine trust. Your brain doesn't care about the boardroom. It's still scanning the tall grass for threats. Now consider what happens when a handshake is withheld. When you refuse someone's extended hand, your brain interprets it as a profound social rejection. Studies show that being denied a handshake activates the same pain-related brain regions as physical injury. Your old tribal mind understands instantly. You've been excluded from the group, cast out of the alliance. That's a death sentence on the savannah. Even today, it stings far more than it should. But here's the beautiful twist. A handshake isn't just about avoiding war. It's also the fastest bridge to cooperation. When you offer your open palm, you're not only disarming yourself, you're inviting the other person to do the same. You're creating a tiny, fleeting bubble of mutual vulnerability. In that moment, two ancient brains agree to stop scanning for weapons and start searching for common ground. The same gesture that once prevented a spear through the ribs now seals a friendship, a partnership, a new neighbor pulling a couch up a flight of stairs. So the next time you see an extended hand, understand what's really happening. Your brain is flashing back through millions of years of evolution. It is checking for daggers that are no longer there. It is reading submission signals that chimpanzees still use. It is releasing hormones that bind tribes together. And it is making a split-second judgment about whether this stranger can be trusted with your survival. You're not just extending a hand. You're performing a survival ritual so ancient that your brain has never figured out how to do without it. That handshake is a survival signal, and your mind is still listening.